Good morning. My name is Tim from Plugged Into Leadership. This morning, I apologize ahead of time. It's going to feel a little bit like a rant because it kind of is a rant, but it's something that needs to be said. And I feel like it goes directly to leadership, to our current culture. And so just hang with me for a second. You may agree. I really want you to answer the question in the description. All right. What emotion prevents you from seeking the whole story? So I'm about leadership, not being right, although I think that there is an objective, absolute truth to situations and to life and to morality and to all that. I think that there's an objective right and wrong. But we want to seek leadership first and foremost, not fame and not fortune. So we are in the age of Twitter. We are in the age of instant gratification. We are in the age of sound bites. We are in the age of YouTube. You're checking out this video on some sort of social media or a podcast or on YouTube or whatever. You may not get the full story. You may not get all of the different pieces from one particular news outlet, from one particular post, from one particular conversation, because at this point I've been going for about a minute and a half and you may have checked out already. You said, this is too long. It's too long. So you've checked out. But there is so many layers to communication that when we only seek to find out the smallest amount of information and then make a judgment on that, I feel like we're doing a disservice. We're not leading. We're not seeking the whole story. So this is what I mean. In our current climate culturally, everything from politics all the way down to your house and your relationship with your friends and your family and whatever's going on at work, there are multiple sides to a story. And you are going to choose to communicate the side of the story that you wish to be seen. And particularly on social media these days, we can tend to only post things that we want people to know or to see or to understand about us. And there may be more to the story. So before we make a judgment about the whole story, we need to get the whole story. Now, I see this a lot in the conversations that happen online, particularly with politics and specifically religion, is that there isn't necessarily a full story. Something happens, there's a news cycle running, and the story comes out, President Trump tweets something ridiculous, and everyone just goes berserk. Everyone goes into their corner, takes their side, finds their specific thing that they think that helps them boost their side and of being right, and that's it, and they hold fast to that. And I want to challenge that presupposition. I want to challenge that position that we seek to understand and go into the conversation seeking to know and listen to the other person. So much of leadership is about hearing the different sides of the story, listening first, and then being able to make an informed decision coming out of that. And that's what I think we have lost in today's culture and today's climate. There is so much blame placed on others. There is so much, you did this, you didn't do that, you said this, whatever, that we've stopped listening. So last night I was having just a kind of a text message conversation with a friend of mine about the race division in the American church. And I said, what do you think is the cause of this? And I just listened. He texted back a few times and I said, that's great. I really appreciate your opinion on that. And I started to kind of investigate a bit more. And so I used the word opinion because I think it was an informed opinion. I think it came out of some of his experience, but it wasn't just his experience. It was some of his, research that he has done into the situation. And so it was a fairly informed opinion. I could almost go as far to say that it was fact, that I agree with his observations and I agree with his conclusion. And so I want to be able to take a position of listening and understanding, and not just the sound bite, not just the small text message that he gave me, but to be able to understand the broader context of where he's coming from and his background and the research that he's done, and be able to incorporate that into my understanding of what he's saying and my understanding of the situation. And I think largely we have lost that. So this Monday morning, you're checking out the show. It's Monday when I'm recording this. As you go through your week, I want you to take a specific and intentional effort to try to get the whole story, understand the person's perspective, spend some time listening, As much as we can do that, we are going to be able to help people grow in the direction that they want to go. And that really is the essence of leadership. So I don't know where else to go with this. I could use a number of different examples. I'm sure that you know what I'm talking about when it comes to this idea of the soundbite culture, that we hear something, we read something in a post, or we see a quick video on Facebook or on YouTube, or in the 5 seconds before we watch a YouTube video, there's an advertisement that comes up. We take that because it seems to agree with what we're talking about, and then we jump in both feet and say, this is right, and then start spreading it all over the place. I really want you to encourage you to take the next step and to listen, because leaders are not only readers, but they're also listeners. So that's all I got for you today. I'm excited about the guests. You got to tune in tomorrow to see who's coming on the show. They're leaders worth knowing. They're going to help you get from cubicle to the corner office. The things that they are talking about are going to help you grow in your leadership, because that's what I'm all about, is helping you grow in your leadership. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that you understand, you gain some awareness about the soundbite culture that we're dealing with in these times, and that we can rise above that. As leaders, we can rise above the 280 characters or the 15-second video that we see, and we can spend a little bit more time doing some research. That's all I got for you today. You can share this video. You'll be entered into the weekly resource drawing at the end of the week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow. And my mouse is not working. All right, here we go. I will see you tomorrow.